What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cosmic Wonder. We have some updates about Avengers Doomsday. It looks like the film might be delayed, but it looks like if it is indeed going to be delayed, it's going to be delayed for very specific reasons. Reasons that I think overall will really help with the overall story that they want to tell, not just for Avengers Doomsday, but for Avengers Secret Wars as well, for Doctor Doom, and for the overall multiverse saga. So a delay, of course, is kind of bad news, but I think it comes with some good news as well. We also have updates from Marvel Studios, executives from Marvel Studios, about upcoming projects. Now, recently you have probably heard that Marvel Studios has decided to either delay and or cancel a bunch of projects. That's everywhere in the news right now, but what you might not have heard is that Marvel Studios does have plans to incorporate a lot more stories into the current multiverse story, and they did confirm some storylines and other projects as well. And this all ties in together, the delay of Avengers Doomsday, the overall story, and why they're canceling films and adding some character story arcs, not in second seasons, but into the overall multiverse saga. And this is really what they did with Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Leading into Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, the stories that took place around those films really defined the story in the movie. For example, going into Infinity War, of course, we had Captain America Civil War, which split the Avengers apart, which meant in Infinity War, they were still split up and they weren't fighting together. Thor Ragnarok directly led into Thanos attacking Asgard, what was left of Asgard at least on the ship, which ultimately led to Heimdall and Loki dying and Hulk being sent to Earth to run into Tony Stark and Doctor Strange and warn them about Thanos. And then ultimately Thor went on to find the Guardians of the Galaxy. Then in between Infinity War and Endgame, we got Ant-Man and the Wasp, which played a huge role in setting up what was going to happen with Scott Lang and time travel in Endgame. And then of course we had Captain Marvel, and she was a major player at the end there and in the beginning as well. So what Marvel's trying to do right now is kind of do the same thing they did for Infinity War and Endgame. And luckily for us, it's the same people writing it and directing it, the Russo brothers and Stephen McFeely. They are working on a script right now, and reportedly the script is not done. And also, according to this new report, the cast is not set yet either. But of course that comes down to the script, who they particularly want in it, and if those actors are available. In which I'm sure most of the actors know that they're going to be in this film. Even if they don't know, they're probably anticipating that they'll be in it, and most of them are probably hoping that they're in it. But we've heard multiple reports that the script is not yet finished. Filming has already been delayed, and according to industry insider Jeff Snyder on the Hot Mic podcast, he said that he heard a rumor that the release date for Avengers Doomsday might be pushed back by a few months to the next release slot. Now, Avengers Doomsday right now is currently scheduled for May 1st of 2026. The next release slot would be what we have as an untitled Marvel movie that is scheduled to come out July 24th, 2026. So just a couple of months away. That's really not that bad, but if it has to be pushed back to a couple more spots, that would mean we might have to wait till November. Fortunately for us, I really don't think it's going to come to that. He says that he ultimately does not know which characters and actors are going to be in the movie and which actors are going to be available to shoot the movie. And he further adds that Marvel is still trying to figure out who the ensemble cast is going to be. And again, this comes down to the script not being finished. You obviously don't know who the cast is going to be if you haven't finished your script. But here's why I think that this really isn't actually too bad. The movie being delayed by 2 months doesn't really set us back too much, but it comes at the cost of getting a better script. The starting of filming has already been delayed. It sounds like the Russo brothers really do need more time to finalize this script, and if taking 2 months to do that is what they need to make a perfect script, to give us the best movie that we can possibly get, both for Doomsday and Secret Wars, because remember, they're writing both of the stories right now, and the Russo brothers just recently confirmed this week that they are indeed going to be shooting Doomsday and Secret Wars back to back again, like they did Infinity War and Endgame. Originally, there was going to be a year gap, but not anymore. So a 2-month delay to get a better movie from the Russo brothers, I think is worth it, because they're basically done with the Electric State now. The premiere was this week. They probably have a handful of interviews left to promote the film, but then it's fully focusing on Avengers Doomsday. And an extra 2 months to finalize a script is a lot of time. They can do a lot with the script in 2 months, and they've already said that they are just super super excited for the story that they have so far. They said it's going to be radical and challenging to them and the fans. And again, this also does tie into the overall story of the MCU because it's all really going to focus around Doom and that story once we get to Doomsday. So the changes that the Russo brothers have already made to the MCU since they were brought in, since Robert Downey Jr. was brought in and Kang kicked out, that's already affected the MCU big time. That's why we've gotten all these canceled projects announced from Marvel recently. And actually this week, through the Daredevil interviews, we've gotten more information about the canceled one. They also canceled the Okoye series and confirmed that Moon Knight Season 2 is not happening. We also heard from industry insider Alex Perez at the Cosmic Circus that Marvel is no longer going to be doing any type of Skrull storyline, at least not until the soft reboot comes. We also heard from Marvel that they're not going to do a Moon Knight Season 2, but Moon Knight will return and join the overall story of the multiverse saga, which is great news. Although I would have liked a Season 2. But Marvel has announced that more shows and stories are coming. For example, and this is all coming from head of Marvel Television Brad Winderbaum, he stated that we are getting a Punisher special presentation. And we know that Frank Castle is returning in Daredevil Born Again Season 1, so it looks like we're about to find out what Marvel has in store for the Punisher in Daredevil Born Again. They also did confirm Hawkeye Season 2 with Hawkeye himself and Kate Bishop. They are working on that. They're working on a way to make that fit. He didn't specify if that was going to be coming in the multiverse saga or after the saga, but they could work it into the multiverse saga, and this is how you can actually bring Hawkeye back to the OG Avengers and the new Avengers as well. And of course, he would bring in Kate Bishop, who would go on to be a part of the Young Avengers, or Champions as they're being called right now. Brad Winderbaum also mentioned that they would love to do an Agatha Season 2. However, they're not going to force it. They're going to look for ways to do it, but they're not going to try to do it just to do it. So if a story pops up, they'll do it. And I'm assuming one eventually will, because we are getting the Scarlet Witch back in Avengers Doomsday is when I believe she is going to return. If not in Doomsday, in Secret Wars. Or maybe even Doctor Strange 3. We'll have to wait and see on that. We also did hear from Marvel regarding the Defenders, and they basically said that they are going to explore that and see what they can do with those Defenders characters. And there's also been rumors that we are going to see some cameos in Daredevil Born Again, so who knows, maybe we see Jessica Jones, maybe Luke Cage. We already know that the Punisher is going to be in the series and play a pretty decent role, so bringing back other Defenders would be super awesome. So yes, Marvel has canceled some projects and they're deciding to put some stories behind them, but it's for the overall good of the MCU, the story that they are trying to tell with Doctor Doom and the new Avengers team, plus the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. So it's all really for the greater good. They're sacrificing some projects now to make the overall story and the finale of Avengers Secret Wars just the best it can be, which I'm always here for. In fact, I've heard a lot of people state that, hey, if they need to delay Avengers Doomsday to make the story right and even do another project to set up Doom a bit more, or maybe even set up the new Avengers team, they should do that. So I think a lot of fans will probably be pretty okay with a slight delay to make a better movie. But please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you bummed out about this, or do you think it's okay because you want that better movie? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel news, rumors, or leaks. You can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.